This, I mean, you know, you can spend a year doing nothing, and because of the financial restraints, you have to work in a very short period of time intensely. And the longer you're at this, the more used to that you get. So long as your message is true and you believe what you're saying, this is not a problem for me.
I see.
You know, and I kind of, when this workload stops, I'm going to miss it. You know, it's going to be very hard to settle back down into what you would call a regular life. I really don't know what a regular life is anymore, though, because, I mean, I started very young, and kind of like really just stole my childhood in an odd way, but at the same time gave me so many rewards. And, I could speak my mind, and I could speak truthfully and truly analyse not only myself but the situations that were ruining my life.
Ruining? Man,
yes.
These are hard words.
You know, the British government, you know, all of these things that told me from childhood I had no hope. Why should I bother? There was no place for me in society. Well, I've made a place for me, and I've made a place now, I think, for very many people out there who are confused and left with a sense of leaderlessness. Well, I'm not offering you leadership. What I'm offering you is a chance to be an individual and learn that an individual makes the greatest difference to this world. Individuals tend not to want to murder each other. They tend to be much more generous in their spirit and create a wonderful society called us. Not us and them, or them and us. Us.
Us all together.
You know, that don't believe in any one political party system, that will have the common sense to go, well, I'll go with that because that's the best choice there, and some of that. But if you allow groups to persuade your intellectual process, you become a victim, and you become part of what I call the shitstorm.
But you moved to California.
Yeah, police harassment.
Police harassment.
Yeah,
because, I mean...
Well, here's the story of this. Police harassment in England drove me to Ireland, where I was immediately arrested. And so I ended up in New York. I couldn't really get on with New York. They were all ever so much older than me, the music world, and so stuck into poetry and rubbish, I thought. So I went to Los Angeles, and instantly I became healthier because of the climate, because I was on the beach, and that changed my mind about quite a few things. So there's a lesson in that too for anyone who's prepared to listen, is get up off your bum and put yourself in positions that seem contradictory to what you think is possible in your life, but you might actually learn something about yourself in the process, and that's a thrill, and that's been what music's given me.
So it's not anymore burn, Hollywood burn, huh?
Oh no, I agree with, you know, the film industry is completely corrupt and filthy.
But good to live in LA anyways. I'm curious.
Let me tell you an interesting little story about that song. We're talking Open Up, the one I did with Left Field. Right? It was a fun project, but it took something like, bleeding hell, 3 years really to put together, because they're mates of mine, they're friends, and we wanted to work together, but it took a long time to get the beat right, you know, to all of our minds. And so one night went in the studio and just did it in a couple of takes, and we loved the record, released it. Of course my record label didn't like it, so you know it ended up on other labels, but the content of the message was pure. And unfortunately in America, on the week of release was the same week that there were intense fires in the Hollywood Hills. Mm-hmm. So I was immediately accused of profiteering on a natural calamity. And these situations can be problematic, you know. Because people don't understand how things are made and how long it takes to put them together. And I'm not the kind of a person that would ever profiteer off you know, the death of others or the loss of others. And in fact, because I was living in LA at the time, my house was almost burned down to the ground also.
I read that it was burned in London, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's another situation.
Oh God. You have troubles with fire.
Seems to be.
Don't smoke that cigarette, please.
That was a strange calamity. That was. We had a washing machine that was going on the blink in London, and now my wife left it on and walked away. Went up the stairs to the top of the house, and the thing caught fire. Set fire to the kitchen, and all my new songs, for which was going to be in This Is PiL, all got burned.
Yeah, that's what I read.
And none of that was a problem, because she survived that fire. That fire could have killed her. So it didn't. So yippee, I got the opportunity to write new songs, and that's how life is. You know, from a problem can become a really glorious situation. You can actually create something entirely better by coming out of that. Yeah. So there you go.
So yeah, last year you released your album, and in the meantime you started your own publishing company, as I saw. You started your own label, so you became like do-it-yourself little company. What about concerts?
Yeah.
It's still organized by others, or do you have plans?
No,
to
of
do
course
it
we
by
use
yourself?
promoters, but we know what we want now. You know, and I mean, I work with my best friends.
Longer riders, huh?
You know, hello, there's Rambo. Right, that's the manager. Right, we've known each other since we were 11.
Wow.
Right, so there's no lies that go on in our world, and that's how things work accurately and exceptionally well. When I was attached to large record labels, it was never going to be any joy out of it, because they were constantly trying to badger, hinder, or redirect my career towards their ambitions. And I'm sorry, I'm not interested in writing lies or vacuous pop songs. I love pop music, and I've written very many pop songs, but they have to be about something for me to be intrigued or enjoying my work. And if I'm not enjoying my work, then I just don't work.
This reunion happened, yeah, that's what I wanted to hear.
It's your beer.
So still, like, you are 57 now, and still in amazing shape in concerts. As I saw your latest live shows. How do you prepare yourself?
Because you're only as young as you feel. You're only as old as you feel. I've never bought into the nonsense of giving up at any point in my life. When I'm about 100, there might be some arthritic problems. But I keep myself fit. And mentally, I'm very, very astute, I think. This is, for me, the best period of my life. I'm working with the people I respect and love the most. In Public Image, for instance, there's been some 49 members over the years, but the people, we're something of an institution. I mean, we've launched so many musical careers, and of course that's cost me financially, but oh my God, the world's a better place for it. But the people I really love to work with was Lou Edmonds and Bruce Smith. I mean, we're very, very bonded. We're close, and we really needed a bass player that could understand that, and we got one in Scott, and it's been excellent. It's the most rewarding period of my whole life in music. Well, up to this point, I was assumed there'd be members you wouldn't like or wouldn't get on with. And I found the tension in those situations very intriguing and interesting and good for songwriting. But there's a better way now that you can do this as true friends.
Oh yeah, I guess
It's
ages you got.
No, it's not age. It's the luck of the situation.
Of the combo.
Yeah, I mean, I was very unhappy with the Pistols as members. We never got on with each other, and it shouldn't have been that way. You could put that down to bad management, I suppose. I mean, we were just very, very young, but it led to great tension in the songs. But it's not the only way. I started Public Image, and I pulled in a lot of my friends, and I wanted that to really work, and for a short period it did, but some of them became very, very egomaniac and got it way, way out of cue. But that's not the case now. So all of the record company problems and everything else kind of in the long term have paid off really well for me. They've all been incredible learning experiences, so that's why to this day I'm not bitter about anything. I can't waste any time on nonsenses. I'm naturally positive. Welcome to PiL.
Welcome to PiL. Can I have one more question?
One question. Yeah.
Just a quick question. For you today, what would be punk? You know, do you find any current in the new trends?
Look, whether and a lot of the newer lot that call themselves punk, I'm dead jealous of this fact. But let's put it down and be real honest. I'm the king of punk. I started it, and I'll tell you when it's finished. And no one has any right at all to tell me what is or is not about anything I do in my life, because there is no lie in me. And it ain't about clothes, it ain't about being a one-trick pony, it's about progress, learning, advancement. The longer I live, the more I learn, the broader the message. And I mean no harm to no one. There is us and only us, the peoples. Now fuck off, you cunts.